Good morning and welcome back. I'm Teddy, and it's MessyMocha. I haven't been on in a while on a morning program, but welcome back. Go ahead, grab your cup of coffee, mocha, tea, whatever you are having on this Tuesday morning. It's November 25th. Shout out to them all my other bears. I call the Grizzlies and the Honey Bears, trying to decide if I want that as a background this morning. Yeah, how's everyone? I've had my coffee and now I am sipping on some water. You know, I don't know. Let's see if I want to start with the news this morning. I haven't done that in a while. The five things, why don't we just start right there? If you haven't been following the indictment that was against uh, New York Attorney General Letitia James and FBI Director James Comey, well, a federal judge on Monday dismissed the prosecutions against them both. That dealt a blow to President Trump's retribution campaign. That's what they are saying, against political foes. The judge ruled that the cases were invalid because the prosecutor who brought the charges, interim U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan, had been unlawfully appointed. That would throw the case off for sure. Trump selected Halligan for the role after forcing out the existing U.S. attorney who resisted bringing the cases and pleaded with Attorney General Pam Bondi to make them happen. Well, Bondi on Monday said that the Justice Department will take all available legal action, including an immediate appeal, to address the decision. So, thrown out, dismissed, but an appeal, I am certain, she said, is coming. On to Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine traded deadly attacks overnight, killing and wounding civilians and damaging infrastructure. In Kyiv, the strikes caused extensive damage to residential buildings and targeted the energy sector and everything that kept normal life going. This was said by Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. Ukraine, meanwhile, launched a major drone attack on Russia, damaging numerous structures in the Russian port city. Local authorities said this comes as U.S. and Russian officials are holding meetings in Abu Dhabi today to discuss proposed plans to end the war. This has been going on for some time. As a matter of fact, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky was set to have talks this week. I wonder how that's going to go. I'm not sure if it was like, this is where we're at, this is what we're offering, and as the U.S. to Ukraine support, which has been since President Trump has taken office. There have been many who have said the support for Ukraine has not been the same. Well, we've seen some of that, but I think it's the president of Ukraine is coming around a little bit. Don't know, and with these latest strikes, that probably is a setback. Venezuela. The U.S. has formally designated Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro a member of a foreign terrorist organization. The steps give Trump administration more power to go after Maduro, his government allies, and his assets. Trump officials say the designation, one of the State Department's most serious counterterrorism tools, also opens the door to expanded U.S. military options for strikes inside of Venezuela. The administration says the effort is aimed at curbing illegal flows of migrants and drugs from the region, but regime change is a possible side effect of those efforts. Next, the White House renovation. White House tours will resume next week after being paused in September for the demolition of the East Wing to make way for President Trump's new ballroom. You know that sped along. I mean, before you knew it, the wrecking ball had taken down the East Wing, and well, uh, construction is already underway. So this new interior, which is projected to cost upward of $300 million, uh, as he has promised to complete before leaving office. Amid the renovations, the White House is also trying to maintain its holiday traditions. On Monday, First Lady Melania Trump welcomed the official Christmas tree, a color fern. It was shipped from Michigan, Sydney, Michigan. After a 650-mile journey, the tree arrived in a Clydesdale drawn carriage accompanied by three gentlemen in top hats for a festive inspection by the First Lady. You see, I have missed all of this. I haven't shown any of the um, holiday lighting festivities leading up to 2 days from now. And yes, it is right upon us. And then finally, a volcano eruption. This happened in Ethiopia and has erupted for the first known time, get this, in 10,000 years, sending ash clouds drifting across continents. The long dormant Haley Gubi volcano in Afar region in Ethiopia's northeast Yemen, Oman, Pakistan, and India. This according to Tully's Volcanic Ash Advisory Center. Now try to put all of that in one sentence for the first time. While no casualties have been reported, the eruption is posing severe challenges for farmers. It was also visible from satellites with NASA images showing thick plumes of dust rising into the sky and billowing across the Red Sea. You know, a lot's going on in the world. And I haven't talked a lot about it. But you know what? We can just start from today. Let me come out and take a look at the chat. More holiday music I will be playing this morning as it is just about 2 minutes to the top of the hour. Should I change this? Let's see. The background that I have been using for mornings. Yeah, I just decided, come on, just is this one. But I don't know if it goes with my Christmas tree. I don't think it does. How about that? You know what? It is, darker for a long time in the morning because of the daylight savings time. And I'm going to keep it like that. Maybe because it's cozy. Yeah. And somewhere it's night. It is. So let's see. Who is out in the bear cave this morning? You read about this. That's, who's that? Cillian, 1987. You read about it. Hmm. Is that the pitcher that we're known as? Is that Platter? His pitcher? Yeah, he has no choice. You mean to go ahead and reconstruct the East Wing? Good morning, Sharon and Star Love. Good morning. I see you. Oh, everyone's awake this morning. And Junebug, Sharon, Star says hello to both of you. Uh, you know what? Because I haven't been coming on at this time in the morning for a while, I don't see my moderators yet. Maybe I should send a quick message. Or, yeah, it's okay that it's just like this. Let's see. More Christmas music while I try to send out a quick message. right, I see baby Juju. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I decided to come on for a little bit. Is it 9? It's after 9 o'clock. It's 9:07 right now. Maybe go until 9:30. Yeah. Do you have your holiday all planned out now? Checklist, where you're going, what you're doing for Thanksgiving. Some of you are already in the, you know, probably in the last minute shopping rush. Are you? Um, this year is probably going to be just a little bit different for me. I won't say exactly. I'm going to spend some time with family, um, but I might have some alternative plans. Uh, coming up for this holiday weekend. I'm looking at something. We'll see. We'll see. hmm Good morning. I see Old School just joined us. Says, good morning, Teddy, Grizzlies, and Honey Bears. Um, how many of you are going to be traveling, um, not just by car? How many of you are going to be traveling by plane this holiday season? Are you going to be in the rush? hmm Well, I just heard this morning that they are now using, some airlines like Delta, whose hub is in Atlanta. And I believe Atlanta is the busiest airport in the United States, um, are going to be using AI to assign your baggage to specific, workers, so that those that need to get prioritized will get there on time. And from what they can see, it has decreased the loss of baggage, if I can remember, more than 30% loss or late baggage. So, again, if you're traveling by plane, you should expect your bags. How many people don't expect their bags to arrive on time? But it should be improved this holiday season. Yes, AI is taking over everything. And yeah. So if there's been any human error, like reading the tags and throwing the bags, and they do throw the bags, yes. Well, they have to get them, from the belt to the plane, right? Um, into the, or I should say, onto the correct airlines. And sometimes, we've seen what happens. Human error can get things mixed up and, misread tags and everything else, colors. And how many bags look the same? There's a lot of bags they do look the same, black, even those that have colors. And even when you can, and I've done this, put a special color tag on my bag or a scarf, just something to try and differentiate. And it still has gotten lost. I've lost in all my years of traveling, and I used to do quite a bit. No more, not like I used to. I've lost 2 bags completely. Never arrived, never found, just lost. Mhm. One was when I was on vacation, and yeah, it didn't make it to a cruise. It, yeah. So, And another when I was traveling, where was I? The last known location was in Texas. And after that, tracking it, I never got it. Mhm. No, I didn't have travel insurance. I think the airlines ended up giving me like $50. That was it. Yeah. So travel on airlines is pretty hectic, with going through TSA and all of that. But you can be at least reassured somewhat that your bag is supposed to arrive with you this year. Travel insurance is supposed to cover that kind of stuff. hmm But what if you have something special? Like I'm not just talking about like clothing. People used to, and they probably still do, especially now is the time of the year people pack holiday gifts, and a lot of people give Christmas presents or holiday presents on Thanksgiving, especially when they know, you know, family, maybe they are not going to see everyone. Yeah. Or they what is it? Chris Kringle? I haven't said that in a long time. Where you draw a name or draw someone during the holidays and Thanksgiving, and then you exchange gifts with your family during the holiday season. So, yeah, if you're traveling by plane, yeah, it's supposed to be easier with AI. Kidding. I don't know if that's a correct word. Easier but more efficient. How about that? Mhm. If I travel, which I probably will do, it will be less than 100 miles in a radius for me. Yeah, for the holidays. I'm going to stay pretty close to home. Mhm. Good morning. I see cups of conversations. Um, have you had much conversations? Yeah. Um, I'm waiting. I'm waiting to hear a couple of things, and if I do, I'll let you know. Any new updates? I don't think there will be. It's Tuesday. The courts will be closing Thursday, Friday, so I don't expect to see any additional ruling. I don't know. You know, haven't seen anything. I looked last night. Um, mm, I mentioned there was a proposed reply to the, I guess, to uh, augment is the word that I used, a response reply to my reply, which was a response to, too many responses, to the motion to dismiss, the renewal motion to dismiss. Well, the proposed reply, it hit on Friday. And everyone knows, yeah, let me talk about this for just a second. That on, I believe it was Thursday, the 20th, if I'm not mistaken, sanctions were um, put in the order. And the sanctions that were applied were that for the rest of the case, filing had to be made either by mail or in person. Well, guess what? something was filed on Friday, hmm with a court stamp. Yeah, I know. It was docketed on Monday late afternoon because I checked the docket yesterday just before noon. And I said, okay, I'm going to check it twice. And it appeared on Monday afternoon. hmm So that means someone walked it in to the courthouse. Was it a courier? Was it express mail? And it was mailed on Friday and arrived on Friday? I don't know. But I can tell you it appears that it was scanned. And it also appears that all they did was remove. Remember I told you there was 22 pages? Well, 18 were scanned in, and someone received that scan, not the court. The court, no, you have to walk it in or you have to mail it in. Okay. So someone hurried and scanned the documents. As I said, they might be scanned mhm, to someone or, a courier. And they showed up after removing 4 of the pages. So it appears to me, I looked at it overnight, not in much detail, but enough to see that it appears. I'm only going to say it appears that they simply removed 4 of the pages that were filed on last Monday. I believe that was the 17th. I'm not looking at the dates. So that they could get it in. Mm-hmm. It's there. I say it's there. And it wasn't late. Yeah, it made it on Friday. How about that? Wonder why they removed 4 pages? They removed the 4 pages, in my opinion, is because the original um, also included the request to file, the extension. So remember when I mentioned it appeared that there were 2 documents, the first 4 pages, and then suddenly there was a cover page? Well, what they did is they put a new cover page, changed the title from Propose to Exhibit F, and put a new cover page, and then, whatever else they pulled together. Yeah, that's what it appears to be. And then that was somehow relayed by a scan to either a courier or someone here in Detroit walked that in to the court. So I don't know, of course the options are mail it in or courier. So someone acting as a courier could have been FedEx, could have been USPS, some courier, let's just call it a courier, got that scanned copy. And it does appear like it was scanned. I can't say for sure, but I'm just telling you, if it had less than 24 hours from the time the judge made her ruling that things had to be delivered to the court by mail or in person, Yeah. Something went by express and it wasn't Pony Express. So there you go. Mhm. And it looked very much the same exhibits, only they're, in black and white. So if you look back at 109 and compare it to 114, it's 18 pages versus 22. It's black and white versus it was in color. And yeah, I think there might have been, when I was scanning real quick, there might have been, I can't be certain, but there may have been a change in one or two paragraphs. That was a quick glance. Yeah. hmm I didn't see any. I didn't see any citations that are from other court cases, you know, citing, you know, rules. I saw that rules of the, court, you know, federal rules, but I didn't see any citations. But I have to go back. hmm Yeah, not gonna read it now. hmm Um, I'm just going to say, like I did when I read or commented on it last, I think it was Monday. I can't remember. I'd have to look back. Yeah, I see the play. So there was really nothing changed, and maybe that was the whole thing anyway. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, right now it's not for one; it's for both. Yeah, the judge and the court and the clerks, and they're going to be looking for citations. Nobody wants anything thrown out right now. Mm-mm. Yeah. Um, and the reply was, I think the within the guidelines is 7 pages, and then the rest was, yeah, like it was before. Yeah, same. It was pretty much the same document. Mhm. So again, the judge, the judge made the decision on sanctions across the board, and she said some things about my citations as well. Um, she didn't accept my explanation on any of them. hmm No matter that I had the library, um, you know, stamp and or citations that I use this reference from the library and librarian. This judge, I really think it was about the overload of the court document in part. Yeah, just, in part. And the sanctions that she applied uh, addressed that. Hmm. Yeah. And this renewed motion to dismiss and the reply to add to that is directed at uh, claims and there's been something added to this um, to the docket that wasn't there before in their previous motion to dismiss. Since my response to their motion to dismiss, there's a lot inside of it, inside of the 7 pages that I'll have to go through. Mhm. Yeah. The judge ruled on the report and recommendation ECF 75 Levy adopted what the magistrate judge. Again, I don't know how all of that is going to lay out. I really don't at this moment. Yeah. I can tell you this. At this point, we've got 11 months into this. And since the defendant has uh, come into this case, the defendant, along with, uh, different aliases, Jane Doe, John Doe, improperly named, all of this without them being, with them remaining anonymous, all of these requests, all of these motions to dismiss, all of these um, filings, all of these, yeah, I'll just say filings so that I can keep it like that. And I don't know who this individual who is making all these claims. They haven't had to prove anything yet. Nothing. I haven't read every detail of everything they've filed, but they have filed a lot that has really been outside of the scope of this case, in my opinion. But it's all still there. It's all, and it is repetitive. A lot of it duplicated. Okay. And coming from two different aliases that I don't know, and some of it that has nothing and names and people and places and all of this that has nothing to do with the case. It didn't get, struck, and some of it, yes. I, you know, I have told people I don't know everything about you know, the case law and everything. I just, I'm learning as I go along. Hmm. I can tell you that John Doe we haven't heard a peep out of John Doe. And my guess is we haven't heard a peep out of John Doe because John Doe knows that before he can uh, come before the court again, John Doe is at risk of the judge saying you've got to show, yeah, you can't be anonymous anymore. Hmm. And I have just a gut feeling, just a gut feeling that John would have said something by now, in all of this. Hmm. Hmm. John would have said something, but John knows that he can't. He would. It's the risk that John Doe hasn't been willing to take yet since the judge ruled. I believe that was back in June, May, June. I'll just say that time frame. Hmm. Yeah, because when John Doe first showed up, John Doe showed up, and a couple of those big filings just got struck straight out. Nobody even had to the judge just threw it out. Hmm. Yep, and the judge has struck down a lot of my filings too. Hmm. Yeah, and a lot of the defendants' filings. So now we are left with what's on the docket plus what's to come. And we don't know what's to come, do we? I don't know. Yeah. Yes, John Doe's Cash App is being used every day. Absolutely. It hasn't stopped, and that's a fact. John Doe said it's his money. And then he filed after I called the Cash App and said that the defendant does have access to that money. Hmm. So, as the plaintiff here, that still matters to me because if this case moves forward with, claims, defamation, which that's part of it, cyberbullying and harassment, that's part of it, copyright is part of it, that's being challenged. Okay. Jurisdiction is still being challenged. Hmm. Claims and stating claims. I don't know how this is going to land. Hmm. I don't know when and if the judge is going to rule specifically. Yeah, because there's still, my 104 and response to ECF 77 motion to dismiss renewal. Hmm. And then what was added? Hmm. Yesterday, or Friday, but was docketed on Monday, yesterday, the 24th. Hmm. Yeah. September or since September the 25th, it has been. Or we'll just say October and, November have been like quite um, intense. And yeah. But if the case, moves forward with everything, the intensity is going to ratchet up without, at least on my part, without the call for strikes and with a lot more deferential. Um, that's not the word I was getting ready to say. I'll just say with a lot more attention paid to citations. How about that? Mhm. Yeah, because the time is to reply automatically gets cut short with the electronic filing privileges being removed. Yeah, I know people are watching. I know people are watching me on and off this YouTube. I think. I think. Yeah. So let me read some of your comments. I said 9:30. Here it is, 9:39. I almost went. I still have, I didn't hit the hour. I was thinking of 45 minutes. Yeah. But well, because that's what you guys really want to hear about, right? Mhm. So let me get some water. I'm going to read your comments and I'll be right back. Open up the mic again and read your comments. Let's go up here to, let's see, where we start talking about the case. Hmm. Do, 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 do. Whoever is E-Link or Ink says, I love uploading documents to Speechify to read it to me because I don't have the patience for all of that reading. Yeah, it's a lot of reading, isn't it? Let's see. Cup says all they are doing is editing and sending the same document. Oh, we're talking about 109, 114 comparison. No more citations going forward. Allow the clerk to enter the court's own citations. That clerk is pretty good. I don't know them. Uh, it's a guy for um, Magistrate Stafford. And I'm not certain on Levy. I just saw the name. That might be a guy too. I'm not sure. Sharon says, I seem to remember she plans on filing something in Kimmy's case after this holiday weekend. I wouldn't know. And says it should get the case completely. I don't know. You know, that's the whole plan to, get the cases, both of them, dismissed. Of course, that's her objection. Her objective, her aim is to get the cases dismissed. Totally. Um, let's see. Sharon says to me, the court shouldn't even be addressing the case in something about that case as she's defaulted. Oh, you're talking about Kimmy's case. hmm Responding to that. Yeah, she didn't respond until after 6 months, something like that. I'm just, um, estimating the time frame. I can tell you it was more than 5 months. Mhm. Yeah. Again, I don't know how it all goes. What are all the federal rules and how each subsection applies as I'm learning. There's a lot of rules to each of the different types of filings and the timing and then ultimately the court has um, you know reign, provisions and all of this. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. Yeah. Because look what happened. The judge set aside the motion to, set aside default for, in my case, yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, the judge set aside default judgment in Kimmy's case, but did move forward and allowed her to serve the defendant via alternate, you know, methods, which included email service and posting on her social media. So this defendant has been served because he, whoever had been evading this, you know, court. They don't want to be served, although they said, serve me. Although they said, sue me. They do not want, they don't want to be served. They don't want to be sued. They don't want to be in the jurisdiction. They don't want the ruling. They want it dismissed. They never, ever, ever. Because what they're doing shows that they don't want to be sued, shows that they don't want to show up in court, shows that they don't want to be held accountable for anything. Mhm. Although they profusely apologize for citations over and over and over and over. And that got the judge's attention. So yeah. So yeah, that worked, at least for, a brownie point. Mhm. Yes. But they don't want to be held accountable for what they've done, really done. Mm-mm. That they don't want to be held accountable for. And I'll just say it like that. Okay. Let's see what else we're reading here as we go down. Um, just stay prayed up. Yeah, that's Luna's blade. Let me see. I'm sorry, I wasn't putting up everything up on the. It says all his clogging and overloading the docket seems to be having an effect on the court because it's like, well, again, the judge made the decision, but if initially there was a barrage of filings, so much so that I had filed an emergency motion just to get just wait a minute, can I ooh to respond to it all. It was just a firestorm in the beginning. hmm And remember, the judge barred me from responding for a period of time while she was deciding jurisdiction and service. Yeah, it was like she's saying this whole question because that kept coming in over and over: jurisdiction, service, no service, service. I haven't been served properly. I'm not part of, I left a registered agent, and I'm over here, I'm over there, I'm over here. It's like my name is incorrect. I'm Jane Doe one day, I'm this, you know it's a lot. It's evasion. Even the judge could see that. Mhm. And then what happened in the middle of the summer? You know, another case got filed. And now they're saying that's not the domicile, and that's not enough to prove that they're out in California, and it's just a lot. It's a lot of filings to confuse, I think, not just the court, but this case, m- my filings as well, because I've got to respond to all this, at least some of it. Yeah. And if I don't respond, then I might not have the opportunity to, because it says each person has 14 days. It's like, you know, one comes up and I barely get a chance to respond, then something else. But as I was saying, so there was a part, I'm sorry, I didn't finish that thought. There was a time that I was barred and I could not respond. All right. 3 filings came in after that, during the time I was barred from responding. And they just put a lot of stuff in there. People got at it even during that time because of what I was saying on my night talks on Analyze This. Mhm. A lot of accusations, a lot of allegations, unproven, that I haven't even responded to. All that stuff that came in after I was barred, I I didn't even respond to it, not knowing if it would have been considered late, of course, because I could not respond. And once the window opened again, here we are. It's September already. To go back to respond to something from June, three things. And plus, John Doe put something on the filing that I never responded to either, because it came in one day late. The judge let it slide. It was supposed to come in a day before, you know, my show cause, the big one. And it came in on the same date. And then the judge barred me from responding. So it's like, yeah, there was something out there that John Doe. It's probably, again, there's been so much, some things the judge um, allowed, and some things got answered, and some things became moot. So, yeah, we have to move forward from this point, if that makes sense. Another one. Old School says, I could not read all of her filings. It's just too much to read. It is a lot to read. And then a lot got thrown out. I cannot argue what I'm not allowed to argue. There's rules. That's it. hmm And yes, at some point, for the judge, she says, like, it's waste of time, the court's time, a lot to have to go through, just the volume. Yeah. So frustrating. The district judge, by the time it has hit her, um, you know, to start ruling, she's coming through, taking names and making rulings. Cub says, I knew I should have become a lawyer. Yeah. Yeah. Jeez. That's how lawyers do all day, is research and write responses and motions. Yeah. I was warned. I'll just say I was warned um, that there would be a lot of motions. I had no idea it would be like this. Not really, because I just don't know. hmm Yeah. hmm Not that it's going to change things, but there's no way in the world that I would intentionally give the court something to try to sneak it by them. It's just, you know, the volume of time and to get everything done, things did slip through the cracks. And that's the truth. Things didn't get checked. A couple didn't get checked. That's the truth. Yeah. So I'm, that's what it is. But that's what it is. The ruling is the ruling. We have to deal with it. What is the consequences, the sanctions? Yeah. Whether or not that's going to affect, um, it affects it moving forward, citation, checking, but that should not have any effect on law, right? Law is the law, the rules. So as long as I stay within the rules and there's law to support my arguments that I can, verify as part of my arguments. Yeah, because you do need, or I'll just say, lawyers use, case law to support their arguments, and it is important. Yeah, to prop up a case. Yeah, didn't know all of this. Knew it existed, but I wasn't part of it. Not really. Yeah. Yeah, it's a huge thing. Here it is, almost 10 o'clock. So we definitely are going to cut it off. At 10 is one, been over an hour. Um, if evidence is allowed to come in, I just don't know. This is deeper. This is deeper than people know. And if they can get this case dismissed, that's what they want to do because they know it's deeper. I won't say anymore. They know it can get deeper. Let's see. Um, right now, as I mentioned earlier, it's that they have remained their anonymity and they can request so much, you know, while being anonymous and get rulings on it. Again, I don't know everything with the law. Mhm. How long that would be allowed to go on, I don't know. Mhm. Let's see. Who is Kang? Maybe that's somebody's a short name. Let me look up. Probably somebody new. Um, that's right. No matter how it lands, Teddy, you're doing a great job in standing firm for your justice. A lot has been learned. Yes, it has. We've all learning through this, and it will only make you better. Yeah, all of it. Stronger, better. Don't want to go through the fire, but yeah, they say without test, but you don't want to go through the. Yeah. People are tired of hearing about the case. All right. There are absolutely other options. Let's see. There is a reason this suit is not being covered widely because once creators read Teddy's filings that know the truth, some content creators are actually still, yeah, they're scared out of their wits about, um, yeah, they're scared of this individual. Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot to learn. Luna, exactly. Let's see. Let's skip through these. Yeah, 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 yeah. Um, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, so much games upon games to distract and confuse. Yeah, it takes amazing. Yes, your strength and perseverance. Some days it shocks me. Yeah, I'm human. I am human. Come on. Oh boy. Um, I have no idea what is going on in other cases. I'm not talking about Kimmy's case, and quite honestly, um, yeah, there's been, some things on the docket that I did see, but that's been a while ago. Let's see, and hopefully wherever Kimmy is, she's okay, and I'm sure she is. Yeah, she's a strong um, person too. Let's see. Yeah, I have no problem. I have no problem with the judge. Yeah, I'm nobody is going to go out there and spend that. Yeah. We're just getting started. I don't have a problem with anything. Not uh anything that's the law. Yeah. But the judge has the authority to manage their docket, whatever that takes. Yeah. And they're getting a lot of airtime. Yeah. Hey, Jennifer. Good morning. This is why I said there is big money involved in this. It isn't about that little channel. It's all about connections of the channel to bigger fish. I I think there's more than one individual. I'll just say that's around. That is, well, there's somebody that says they're John Doe, and John Doe is handling the money, and money is always important. So if there's a money man out there that this money is getting going to every time they strike up a live, that's important because that money has been continuously funding the actions that have been taken against me as a plaintiff. There's no doubt about that. There have been 10 filings to the Michigan Medical Licensing Board. Okay? And during that time, they were broadcasting that on multiple platforms, and John Doe received money during that harassment, during that cyberbullying, during the post of the copyright images, all of that during the creation of the deep fakes. John Doe got paid every single time. You can't say that, well, I didn't know about this. Well, John got paid. Why is he getting paid? Because John Doe knows what's going in that account. It's his account. John knows that people are watching the channel and what is being watched. John Doe can say, well, I didn't know what's being broadcast on the channel. I just know I'm getting paid. What are you getting paid for? So you're connected to this person. Yes. He admitted they know each other. He said he's a he and they're a female. So John knows something about what's going on. Nobody gets money blindfolded. It just comes to them every month and they don't know why. Okay, y'all can believe that. I didn't say why. I just said I don't know everything behind it. I don't. But the defendant said that layers have been put into place so that they will never be found out. The defendant said that if they thought they were ever going to be found out, that they were going to disappear. The defendant said that if anyone is ever questioned, that would be like anyone outside of her about any connection to Google or anything, all they have to do is deny that they know this anonymous person. So if they're anonymous, right? It's easy to say, I don't know an anonymous person because you don't know what they're telling the truth about or not. In other words, if they're not challenged, everybody can get away with it because they're all anonymous. No one yet has had to be accountable. We know nothing about the other side. Nothing. Except that I do know there's a history of fabricating and switching things around so that they can win. It doesn't matter what they need to do to win. That is the overarching theme that I have said time and time again. If they have to bring 3 different people in, 4 different people in that are anonymous, you don't know if it's 1 person, 2 person, 3 person, who are these persons? But we just see things that are happening in relationship to the case that are, in the background, just kind of, the way people are moving and talking and doing, but we don't know people. Okay. You always start with the money. Always. And that's what brought them to this channel. I mean, into the case in the first place was the money. Was the Cash App. Y'all, do y'all get it? I know y'all get it. That's why somebody had to raise their hand. It's my Cash App. Outside of, but we don't know what we don't know. I haven't said anything incorrect yet. This is all this is just what's been, you can go to the filing and see. And yes, I can comment on it. I haven't said this much about it in a long time. Okay. Yes, someone is protecting something, their interest, of course. It's all very interesting. Anonymity is that anonymity is something else. Let's see. Now my dog. I said 10 minutes ago I was going to quit. Yeah, they've been served. Yes, there is. Yes. Email me at unwinewithteddy@gmail.com. I'll read the remaining and then we'll say goodbye. Jennifer says, I still want to know how Robot got paid if that money was going to John Doe. Were taxes paid on it? Is money being laundered? I'm just reading your comment. There is a lot of financial twists and turns going on. She is getting paid. She is getting paid because she said she's getting paid on one of the I have video. She said she's getting paid. She said it's my Cash App. I have that in her own words. She says, "Thank you for my Cash App." She says, it's all there. Put it all together. She says, "My Cash App," you know, yeah, she's getting paid. Nobody's done this for 4 years without money. She has access to the money. She's getting paid. Prove me wrong. Stay here and prove me wrong. I don't think I'm wrong there. Mm-mm. So that's where, we could sort things out and we could find out and things get proven. Yeah, I have to prove my case. I want to prove my case. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. She has admitted to multiple people onion. He admitted to watching the channel. Yes, John did what John has been watching. John is watching now. Okay. Um all these twists and turns, these mystery people. Uh, all comments and opinions are the chat. Yes, she did say everything was set up before she got here, which proves John Doe is a part of the troll base league. She did say everything was set up and not in her name. So John was set up in his name, but we don't know John's name. We don't know John's a man, a woman. I don't know. That's just somebody saying that. How do I know? I don't know. This point, yes, it's frustrating. Um, this might be the final. We got one or two more. Oops. Is that on the screen? Yes. Um, which is why I say she was never the original robot voice. It was set up for her because she needed income stream after someone went to, I don't. What was I going to say on that? Mm, Oh, income stream. She has income stream. She said she's getting paid every week. Now, do we know that she's getting paid because of this? I can't say. But she said she has plenty of money and she says she has it coming in every week. So that could be something a separate, that has nothing to do with YouTube. I can't prove that. So, in other words, she's got money flowing. Let's say it's not this money flowing, but if somebody's getting funded, check this out. If somebody's getting funded through this platform, okay, watch this. They get the money in their account. Okay. She says she's getting paid. Okay. Maybe there's some other work. I don't know. But if any of this money is being used and it eventually gets to her, eh, okay. I don't know. All I'm saying is where money is involved and money that cannot be held accountable for, and people are mysteries on these accounts, I can't say. I can't prove anything. I don't know anything. I'm making that clear right now, people, because it's a mystery. We don't know. Okay. Speculate, yeah, because logically it doesn't make sense to work for free as much as this person talks about money and coins and that she's getting paid and that she's bigger than everybody else, that she has more views than everybody else. That's how you get paid. She has bragged about her viewership, her cash apps. and thank people for the money that's flowing in. So you're thanking money flowing in for someone else. You're so happy, happy, happy. Okay, that all makes sense to me. Not unless you're getting a piece of it. I don't know though. Although she says she's getting paid, and although she says it's her cash app, there's a lot of of video footage that supports what I'm saying, or I wouldn't say it. So I just want to get a chance to be heard, a chance, for this case to move forward, and we will see. And I have to be fair about it. The judge has said if it gets to discovery, she said it in, I believe, ECF 75, because the defendant has, made a motion for protective order for this, for that. Nobody, including me, can abuse anyone. I'm not going to do that. I want it to be fair. I want it to be just, but I don't want to argue against a ghost. It's so difficult. Yeah. Um, the longer I stay on, the jurisdiction is in Michigan. Ain't no way in the world you're gonna have your hand in the cookie jar. That's your account, and you're not gonna pay yourself. Stop it. Or it goes somewhere. Trust. Let's see. Yes, the judge see, this judge doesn't know a whole lot. Yep. Yeah. She doesn't. But if it doesn't get to that, she will never know. Hmm. She will not know the evidence yet. She doesn't have, she has things, but she doesn't have, things haven't been said. That's been entered into evidence. That's evidence. She has filings. Mm, I believe that nobody moves in the dark. They don't want to come to the light. Yeah. Hmm. There's nothing that I've said that I'm ashamed of. There's nothing that I've said that I can't reconcile with, including mistakes. Uh-huh. I know how I am. I just, yeah, yeah. All right. I think that took, hey, we got down to the bottom and nobody else put in a comment. Oh, okay, Patricia. We'll let you be the last one, except for just, goodbyes. Teddy, if they allow you to argue against a ghost, this will be the first case I ever heard. More and more people will try a case as anonymous. Hmm. It's not a good thing. I can't argue against a ghost. It's hard. I see that. All right. That's it for me. Um, yeah. Join me sometime as the day goes on. Maybe I'll come back tonight, and I probably will, even if it's for Christmas music. Maybe. Okay. All right. Thanks to my moderators, Vicky Black and Baby Juju. Biggest bear hugs go out to all the Grizzlies and the Honey Bears. I hope you have a great Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Um, yeah. Happy holidays in advance.